like you, all you got to do is to be bold. I knew it years ago that those who undermine me had their minds undermined, but I never mind. They should keep on undermining because I'm a real good. I must undergo mining. Talking of mining, it leads to discovery. We mine to discover, we learn to discover, we observe to discover. Friends can uncover you at the same time discover you. But I don't want to discover you, I will rather discover more, so I go on the internet and I listen to words of wisdom and intellect. Availability of information, interviews of great men and women all over the diaspora and all nations. Creativity at its best, dexterity of research, no need to go through any formal education. I introduce you to the Discovery Show. Let your friends and your family know the struggles before the blow, their highs and their lows. Pay attention to this show, it will make you feel at ease. The Discovery Show on YouTube got the steez. Now Perry, the presenter, please pose for the camera. I want to hear you say cheese. We are airborne like a flu. I want to hear you sneeze. It's true. The Discovery Show is live on air, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. See ya. TDS TV, Yearn to Learn. Host, Harry Precious. Executive Producer, James.
Hi everyone, you're welcome to the Discovery Show here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. My name is Precious Adadidiodu, ably produced by James Kwabena Opon. Here on the Discovery Show, we interview professionals in the diaspora and beyond who are making significant impacts in their own areas such as nursing, healthcare in general, politics, religion, academia, and what have you. And the idea is that we want to share with their experience. We want to share their experiences. We want to learn from their successes and their challenges so that together we can rise. And through such, interactions, we are also able to get accurate information from them that can help us to rise to whatever levels we want to rise in our careers. So thank you again for joining us here on YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel on all platforms. Send in your comments, send in your questions, and we'll definitely ask our guest. So this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are watching us from, I'm privileged to be joined by my own sister, a friend, and a senior colleague. She is Tutu Baffo Ewusie. She's a nurse, a registered nurse in Ghana, originally trained in Ghana, currently in the UK. She's also a PhD student as well as a lecturer. I know she liked to be called Tutu. You're welcome, Tutu.
Thank you, Precious. It's nice to be here because it's been 2 years now since you asked me.
Thanks very much that finally you were able to make it. And you are looking good, I must say.
Thank you. Thank you very
Fantastic.
much.
Fantastic. Yeah. Good to have you. Thank you very much, too. So, of course, I know a bit about you, but tell us, those who are watching, tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Tutu or Tutua?
Okay. So my name is Tutu Baffo Ewusie. You can call me Tutu. I am from Ghana and I've been practicing as a nurse. I trained from Brekum Nurses Training and went to University for Development Studies, then came to Chester University to do my master's. Went back home again to practice and now currently I'm doing my PhD and I'm a lecturer at Solent University here in the UK.
That's striking. Thank you very much, Tutu. And congrats on all the achievements so far. Can I safely say that the accent is also taking shape?
Interesting.
Yeah,
I might have brought it from Ghana, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll reserve my comment for now. Well, thank you, Tutu. I have a fair idea that prior to you migrating to the UK, you were almost a principal nursing officer in Ghana. How does it feel to start all over again as a Band 5 here in the UK?
In fact, it was a very challenging moment when I decided finally to relocate to the UK because I remember a friend of mine was saying, oh, this year by September, October, you'll be a principal nursing officer because you have to apply for your promotion and you're thinking of relocating. But the truth be told, it was a very good decision that I made at that time because it wasn't only for me to practice, it was only also for my educational ambitions and also seeing the way forward. Because if you complete school at the age of 21 for nursing, you have a long year to go. And practicing in Ghana for more than 13 years, and you have to throw everything away. I think I just decided to take the risk and see what best that I can do after everything that I've done in Ghana. So when I finally made a decision and Adventist got in touch with me that they're happy to help me relocate, I just took the bait. And I came in July 2018 and started my OSCEs. By September, I had passed my OSCEs once, and I started practicing at Isari Hospital for 3 years, which I was a staff nurse, then went to occupational health. And that made me realize that it's not actually where you're beginning from. It is where you're going and the end stage of everything. Because if I hadn't taken if I hadn't taken the step, I wouldn't know that in England you can actually achieve a lot within 3 years.
That's striking and quite encouraging for a lot of people who are watching. I mean, we will definitely come back to that, your progression to occupational health nurse and all that. But I mean, just to stay a bit more on you working as a registered nurse, although you were almost a principal nursing officer back in Ghana, I have been involved in a lot of conversations, be it research and other academic scholarly work about the principle of descaling. People believe that in your situation where you were almost a principal nurse and coming to start all over, you are being descaled. And I mean, they want to believe that there should be a good conversation around recognition of prior experience of internationally recruited nurses. What's your take on that? Do you think that they should recognize the experience? So if you come in here, if you're a principal nursing officer and you had the experience, based on that, they should perhaps, let you apply for a position like, let's say, Band 6 instead of starting all over. What's your take on that?
For me, I believe that there is a need for it to be recognized because what I realize is that nursing is a universal currency. You can practice anywhere. You just need the basic skills of nursing, and anywhere you go, you will be able to apply it. The only difference might be the privilege, like where we used to improvise some of the things in Ghana, but here in the UK, you had the opportunity to use all the gadgets that you have learned in the books of. I believe that recognizing that a lot of people have experiences will actually help the NHS to be able to upskill a lot of things. Because sometimes, like, let me take myself as an example, where I used to work in the ward. At a point in time, everybody recognized that, yes, you have experience. And it's not only myself. I remember Iris, Godiva, everybody who we worked with recognize the fact that we already had a prior knowledge and experiences, because there is no way that I've practiced. I learned how to enter veins using children's vein, and I will come to the UK and I will not know how to enter vein. I would say it's very good for us to do the trainings that we are located for, but after our preceptorship, it is better for us to be put in Band 6. And recently I read from one of the RC, and I think that, I don't know whether it's the deputy chairperson, and he was also suggesting that he feels some of the people coming from overseas should be put at Band 6 rather than Band 5. And I agree to that. It is very important for the UK to start, or the NMC UK to start recognizing, and the NHS start to recognize the skills that people have and bringing over.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I think it's an ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
Those in academia, those on the ward, those in management positions, I have actually started, having a conversation around this. And I believe this will move further. So tell us a bit shortly, what were the factors that helped you to adapt and to stabilize in your nursing practice in the UK when you came here?
Okay. So, Precious, one of the things that I actually realized earlier when I came here was that, first of all, I'm a nurse and I've been practicing, and there is no difference in the practice, and there's no difference in what we are being taught. It is just the system. So what I did was that I started adapting to the system rather than adapting to myself. So because as a nurse, one of the best qualities is for you to be adaptable and adjustable. Because if you're not flexible and you cannot adapt or adjust, you will not be able to work as a nurse. So I started recognizing the fact that it is just the only thing that is different from my practice is the system. So I started adapting to the system and also started educating myself on some of the pertinent things that is needed in the UK as a nurse. Because in let me use that in Ghana, there are some things that maybe like a patient might not have a drug and you have to wait for hours and everything. But here in the UK, I got to know that if a patient's drug is not there, you can call another ward and or you can call the pharmacy and they will bring it. It is not like you're waiting for hours or 24 hours or maybe days for the family to go and bring it. So you have to remember as a nurse that you are always a nurse wherever you go. It is just the only difference is the system. So you have to put at the back of your mind and also try as much as possible to adapt to the system.
Fantastic. I mean, how long did it take you to move from band 5 to band 6?
I worked in the ward for I think it's 8 months or so. Then
Okay.
I saw the occupational health position and I said, let me give it a try. I actually was just giving it a try. So I went for the interview. In the first interview, I actually didn't get it. So I was called and said, oh, you did very well, but we have somebody who has experience in the UK in occupational health.
Okay.
Whatever it is, I don't know what happened. Then in 3 weeks, I was called that, oh, we think you can come for the position. So it took me
Okay.
about 8 months to be on the ward and
Wow.
transition to occupational health. Yes.
That's interesting. 8 months. Eight
Yeah.
months. Great. So if there's someone watching us who would like to know what it entails to be an occupational health nurse, tell us briefly about what qualifications they were looking for and what your day-to-day activities looked like.
Okay. So in occupational health, the health of the staff of the institution you're working with is the ultimate priority because a healthy staff will give a very good and effective practice. So what we do as occupational health, the first thing for your qualification or the first thing that you need to be working in occupational health is being occupational health nurse with the scholarship, the the public health, either the public health background in specialist public health community nursing, which is a course that is run by Brunel University, Teesside University, and some few other universities.
Okay.
Then you
Can you mention
also
the course again? Sorry.
so it's a specialist community public health nursing course.
Okay.
Yes, but already had a master's degree in public health, so that is what I used in the first place because but when I went there, there was the need for me to do a top up, but it never happened before I moved to be a lecturer anyway. So when you have that course, even if you don't have it, you can apply for a band 5 as occupational health practice nurse. And when you're working in occupational health, you have to also remember that there will be a lot of venipunctures, there will be a lot of needle stick injuries, there will be a lot of stresses that people will come in with. So as an occupational health nurse, you have to have a lot of patience because sometimes the person is just coming for a vaccine like immunization schedule, and it will end up in tears. It will end up in a different thing because they will want to have a conversation with you about something. Sometimes it's not even about the work, it's personal.
Mm.
And you have to also uphold confidentiality because because every day of your life, those people who come to you, you meet them on the premises, you meet them on the ward. So you have to put at the back of your mind that the fact that the person came to see you doesn't mean that you have to go about telling people about the person's problem. You have to be very supportive, and you have to be very knowledgeable, because at a point in time, somebody will throw anything at you, and if you don't take care, you might not know what to say. And being a junior in occupational health, you have to always work hand in hand with your senior colleagues in order to be able to know what you have to do when it comes to some of these stresses. Because when a person breaks down, and there are times people can even be aggressive in some way, you just have to quickly find out what next to do. You have to always learn from people. You have to always ask questions if you don't have the knowledge about whatever it is. So basically, that's the most things that we do there. We give support to staff. We make sure that they're up to date with their vaccinations. We make sure that we support them through their mental health, their well-being, and everything that will help them to be able to deliver at the end of the day for the institution.
Interesting. So, just a quick follow up on the qualifications.
Okay.
Is a master's in public health desirable or it's essential? Should you necessarily have it
It
before you
is.
can
It
get?
is. Yeah. So it's either you have that, or you have the specialist community public health nursing course, because with the specialist community public health, it's special for occupational health.
Okay.
But if you have prerequisite of masters in public health, because of the fact that public health is just a broad thing, you would be able to start doing it, but later on you still have to do it. So it's desirable, and at the same time, it's in some way it's essential, because
Yes.
I remember Brunel was telling me that they were going to take off a lot of the courses from me because I've already done them as public health, if I were to do the specialist community public health nursing.
Okay. So what it means is that someone without a master's in public health can still have a community, health nurse role, but you have to go for this specialist program you're talking about.
Yes,
Is that right? Okay,
yes,
great.
very important.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for letting us know. So, viewers, please send in your questions, your comments, and we will definitely ask Tutu Baffo Ewusie, who is a lecturer, a PhD student, and also a registered nurse here in the UK. So, I knew you were working full time as a nurse and you were pursuing a PhD at the same time, even before we come to your academic career. Where did it all start, and how were you able to combine that? Can you tell us briefly about that?
Yes, so I've always loved education. I've always loved school, and right from the start, I knew where I want to go, and I actually had already planned it. Even if I hadn't relocated to the UK, I knew I was going to do my PhD one day. But it all started when I put in a proposal. Then my best friend Angela and Pra, I was having a conversation with her. That time she was doing her master, so I said like, oh, I've written down a proposal and I need to apply for the school. So she just said, oh, I will speak to my head of nursing with Professor Ann Toppin. So when she spoke to Professor Ann Toppin, and Professor asked me to bring my proposal. So she looked at it and said, very interesting topic, but I know the person who you will be able to work with, because she's very much interested in that thing, what your project. So she sent me a profile of Professor Bertha Ochian in De Montfort University. And I read about her. I sent her an email, sent her my proposal. Then she wrote to me that, oh, that's very interesting. I want to interview you. I did the interview and I passed it. So that's where it started from. So it's because I had interest in children. I had very much interest in obesity, because I realized that it's really a public health concern now, and it's going up and up and up. And as at now, we have about 340 million between 5 and 19 years living with either overweight or obesity. So it is because I had already sparked an interest in that field. It was very easy for me to get it. So if you're interested in a PhD, then you have to think about that. However, the problem came when I knew I was offered a full time because I'm an international student, and it was a bit of a problem because the school were like, we can offer an international student a part time. So what we did was that I spoke to my then in charge in the ward, Sister Marie, and she was very happy to help out and told me to see when I have everything in place and let her know. And I spoke to my PDN, which is the practice development nurse, and she was also very happy for me. But the moment I moved to occupational health, I had to combine everything all over again, because in the ward I could do night shifts or I could do some shifts, then I take off and do it. But occupational health, I was working from Monday to Friday, so that's when I had to re-strategize everything. And truly, I did assessment of myself, and I realized that I could combine the two of them and map up my plan, map up my calendar and everything, and I just give it a go.
That's interesting, Tutu.
Yeah.
So, few clarification. You
Yeah.
started a PhD whilst on a tier 2 visa, isn't it?
Yes.
Great. So that's possible. Whether masters or PhD, you can still do it whilst on a tier 2 visa.
Yes, it is highly possible. So when you go on to the home office, there is a document. Before I started my PhD, I did my homework. So the document, the policy guidelines for nurses or for tier 2 holders, there is a clause that states that so far as it will not interfere with your work, you can attend any school that you want at any level, and you can also do anything when it comes to education. So far as it will not interfere with the work that you have been brought to do, then you're allowed to do it whilst you're on tier 2.
Thank you very much for that clarification. Of course, like you said, you did seek for some support from your practice development nurse, and also you were in charge on the ward to help you adjust your rota. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So were you
I
doing?
started going for, when I was on the ward, I started going for lots of night shifts
I
in
know.
order
I
to
used to
meet
meet you a
that.
lot. I used to
Yeah,
meet you a lot. So, were you doing the PhD as a part time or as a full time as well?
as a full time,
Hey,
because the time that I applied,
yeah,
I was made to understand that as an international student at that particular time, I wasn't allowed to do a part time.
yeah.
And because I also wanted to use a scholarship, most of the scholarship will not actually give you a part time.
Okay,
So it is better for me to face it and
okay.
do it.
That's great. So let's tie that quickly then. Talk about the funding. You spoke about scholarship. I
Yeah.
receive a lot of queries from people, especially nurses who are already practicing, and they're asking, I want to further my education. I want to do masters. I want to do PhD. How do I fund it? How did you go about yours? How did you fund it? You are still having it. So how are you funding your PhD?
Okay, thank you. So what I did was that as soon as I started the process and everything, I started looking around to see which scholarship that I could use. So the first scholarship I went to inquire more about was the Westminster Scholarship, because that's what I used, and the Get Fund. What I used both in when I was doing my masters. But I realized that Get Fund and
Sorry,
the
let's put this in context, because we are having people beyond Ghana who are watching us. Others are Nigerians, different places.
yes,
So let's be clear that Get Fund pertains to Ghana. And
yes, Get
can
Fund
you,
is solely for Ghana, and the
great. Can you
Westminster
also,
is for the UK. Yeah.
all right, does it cut across all institution, or it's institution specific?
Westminster, I'm not so sure, because when I applied to Chester, I didn't actually apply for Westminster scholarship.
Okay,
Yes, but I think I applied for a scholarship, but when it came, that was the scholarship I had gotten.
okay,
So as to how I might not be able to go into details about it.
that's right.
Yes. Yeah.
So at
So
least the key thing is that there are still scholarships available for nurses on tier 2
Yes,
who can
yes,
still have it whilst working
yes.
full time. Is that right?
Yes, there are a lot of them. You have to look around, and there is a website that I can give you. You can check if the person wants to do a PhD. You can look for jobs.ac.uk, and you can also look at Commonwealth scholarship. You can look at various scholarships. Most of the schools, when you're applying to them, just check the funding side. Most of them have listed fundings at that time. So currently, what I'm on, Ghana Scholarship Secretariat, they opened their scholarship around this time. So I think it just closed. So between March and May, they opened it up. Then you apply. And I know that they normally support STEM courses. So you look at it. If it's a STEM course, it's very easy for you to get in. They have listed schools, which is on their website. So you have to check all those listed schools and everything. Then you apply for it, and it's highly possible that you can get it. It is very, very competitive, but you can try every year. Within the next 2 years, you can be able to get it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Great. So, I mean, do you have any idea about masters as well? Funding for master does it fall within the same category of funding you're talking about?
Yes, yes. So if you're from Ghana and you have any master's program that you want to do, you can look at from the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. You can look at the Get Fund, and we have the GNPC scholarship. The Tello Oil also offers scholarship. There are a lot of scholarship, and I know one of the IT setup. I've forgotten the name. They recently sponsored one of my friends to come and do a PhD. So there are a lot of scholarship around. And if you're looking at international bodies, because we are part of Commonwealth, it's very easy. And you can look at all those Commonwealth shared. You can look at the main scholarship platform. So the Commonwealth shared, you can get it from the universities. But the main scholarship for Commonwealth is opened and it's run through the government or the countries of origin.
Thank you very much, Tutu. I must say that some of these scholarships are also very dependent on your location.
Yes.
Scholarship like Commonwealth, it might be difficult for you if you already have a tier 2 visa and you're working in this
It
country.
is. It is.
So
It is
for
because they
that,
don't allow if you've stayed outside of a developing area for more than 2 years, they don't
absolutely,
allow you to actually be on it.
certainly.
But you can be on it and come in and start on tier 2.
So that is it. I know somebody who was on that and then moved in here. So that is very possible. But if you're
Yeah,
already here and you're working, then I'm afraid that might not be possible. So that
exactly.
leads me to my next question. We know that things like Get Fund in Ghana, I'm sure in other countries, they might also have other funding organizations, either being a governmental or non-governmental. And we have been made to understand that these funding bodies are instituted to help, in quotes, the poor and the needy. Do you think it is easy for people who are in the UK working and are perceived as doing well to apply for such scholarships to secure them? How easy is it, or how easy was it for you to get the Get Fund scholarship?
The thing is, there is a lot of things that is stated on the scholarship secretariat platform. You have
Okay.
to remember that the first thing you that qualifies you to be a Ghanaian. The second thing is having a good academic records. And the third is it a STEM program? Would it benefit Ghana? Because the fact that you're on tier 2 doesn't mean that you not return back home. Sometimes we make a move to work in other places because we want to better our lives and go back home to also better the place. So the most important thing is try as much as possible because I started here and I applied from here and I got it. I did my interview and everything, even though the interview time was during the COVID, so it was on phone. I believe that if you're invited for any interview and you really want it and you have to even fly to Ghana, you have to. And being here doesn't mean that you will not be able because you're Ghanaian, except if you have, I think if you're having a different citizenship, that will not qualify you for it.
Thank you very much, too. Thanks very much.
Meet Mr. X, an unhappy businessman who has been waiting for days for his goods to be delivered. Unlike Mr. X, business is booming for Mr. K because of his efficient partnership with Hembeck 60 Hub, also known as HP 60 Hub. We are an online platform that sources for goods from across the globe. We only pull high quality standard products from anywhere in the world and ship them right to your doorstep. Be it watches, clothes, bags, and many others. Do get in touch by contacting us on www.henbeckagency.myshopify.com, or you can call us on +233 546 022 952 or hembeck@gmail.com. Hembeck 60, truly a world of endless possibilities.
Thank you very much for sticking and staying with us here on the Discovery Show. Here on the Discovery Show, we say yearn to learn. It's a platform or an interview program that interviews professionals in the diaspora and beyond who are making significant impact in the area of healthcare, politics, religion, academia, and any other field. The idea is to learn about their journeys and which opportunities exist in their areas of expertise. And today we are speaking to Tutu Baffo Ewusie. She prefers to be called Tutu, and she's a registered nurse both in Ghana and the UK. She is also a PhD student as well as a lecturer in nursing. So she's a very big woman. Thank you very much, Tutu. So this program is sponsored by Henbeck 60 Hub. Henbeck 60 Hub. So if you need books, bags, clothes, footwears, if you want these to be sourced from any part of the world, the best of producers, the best of manufacturers, the best of retailers, and sent to you wherever or shipped to you wherever you are across the world, please contact Henbeck 60 Hub on +233 546 022 952 or send them an email at henbecktravels@gmail.com. If you need footwears, clothes, watches, bags, and books to be sourced from any part of the world and shipped to you, please contact Henbeck 60 Hub. You can contact them on Facebook, the number I gave, and also on, through their email. Thank you very much for sticking and staying with us. Please feel free to send in your comments, your questions, and I will definitely ask Tutu Baffo Ewusie. My name is Precious Adadi Diodu, ably produced by James Kwabena Opon. Kindly subscribe to our channel here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So you move from band 5 to band 6 as an occupational health nurse, and then working as a PhD student alongside. And then finally, you are now a lecturer in the UK. Tutu, how are you doing it? Anyway, congratulations in the first place. I must say it's been a great progression. You did mention you started in 2018, and within 4 years, you've made a lot of progression, and we are very much excited for the journey you've taken. So tell us, how did you get there? How does it feel to be a lecturer in the first place?
It is a very nice thing. It's amazing, as you say. As a lecturer, you have the opportunity to impact on a lot of people's life. And if I must say, the first day I was launching my model, and I went into the lecture theater, a very big lecture theater, very nice one, and nobody was there. I stood there, and before I realized, I was crying.
Oh,
I couldn't just believe it, because I look at the big lecture theater and I was daydreaming. I was like, is it true? Should I pinch myself or what is it? Because I looked at the tables and I know it's about 100, more than 100 seated
yeah.
auditorium, and I was like, oh my God, I just started thanking God for this opportunity. It's been a very nice and amazing journey, actually.
I'm sure
Because
others would like to caption it from Brekum Nurses Training College to Solent University.
that should be fine, because it's part of my history. And to tell you the truth, Brekum made me who I am in nursing, because my fundamentals, everything started from Brekum.
Okay.
Even though, let me just say a brief thing about this, because nursing never crossed my mind when I was thinking of choosing a profession.
Okay.
Or when I was a child, everything I've thought about was to be a journalist,
Wow.
um, complete my SHS, go to be a journalist, go into do law, and go into politics. So I had just three things on my mind. But when my mom in 2001, when I completed nursing, she started a school, the SHS, and she started talking about, oh, would you consider nursing? I was like, no. But in 2002, when the results came, I just found myself, and the amazing thing is that the only school that time I bought was Bekum, because
Wow.
I wasn't sure whether it was something that I wanted. So I
Okay.
bought only one and I got it.
Wow.
And Brekum, you can, everybody who is in Ghana, you trained in Ghana, so you know what Brekum stands for when it comes to nursing, the quality education and everything. So they instilled a lot of things in me. Then I went to the University for Development Studies, and it also helped me. And working in a Catholic institution, oh my God, it really helped me. It was just amazing thing. And when I look back from there to where I am today, I can only just say it can only be God and the wonderful people I have in my life. Because for me, this opportunity is by the grace of God. Everything that I've been through for the last, let me say, almost 4 years that I've been in the UK is just from something good to something good, which I'm very grateful for, and I'm so grateful to God for that. And I thank God for the people who are in my life, because their support, their counsel, and everything that has actually put me in this position at where I am today. It's not about only my inspiration. Yes, I know what I want to do, but if you don't have the right people to actually help you to think through things, you
Yeah.
might make a lot of mistakes, because it is a very big risk at every time you want to change a career. Even though lecturing is part of nursing, mind you, when you're on the ward, you get a lot of money. When oh
We will
yes,
come
I've
there. We will come
experienced
there. We will come there shortly. We will
exactly.
come there
So
shortly. I know you were an assistant lecturer at Valley View University back in Ghana. So, how does it compare to your new role as a lecturer in the UK? Now you're a full-time lecturer. So,
yeah.
how does it compare? What are the differences? And in the first place, again, people reach out to me to ask, how do they go into academia? Tell us what qualifications, were they looking for? What did they consider before giving you the role here as a lecturer in the UK?
Okay, so as an assistant lecturer back home in Ghana, there's not much differences. The only difference that I can say is, here we have everything that we want to use. I don't carry the projector on my shoulders anymore. And there's a lot of mannequins, a lot of different anatomy tables. There's a lot of things that you can use to teach your students. You don't have to improvise. Actually, Valley View they were doing very well as a private university. They were doing extremely well because they were trying to provide everything. And I think my interest in education actually started before that, but that actually buttressed the need for me to go into education. So when I saw the Solent University advert, I was like, should I do or should I not? So I just wanted to give it a try. And before that, I had also applied to another school, which I got, but I just decided to do this. And I remember I contacted one of my former lecturers, Mr. Yeboah. He was like, oh, you'll be amazing teacher, so I'm very happy for you to try it. And my one of my daddy's honorable into Abebu was like, Tutu, just try it, just go into it. And the qualification they wanted was, the first thing is for me to be a registered nurse in the UK, which I had. And you have to have a good BSc and for nursing, and you have to also working towards it if you don't have a postgraduate already, because postgraduate is desirable, or let me say essential. But if you don't have it, you have to look at working towards it. And what I realize is that I have colleagues who are doing amazing, and they have a first degree. They are looking towards they are working towards their masters and their PhD, which is very nice. Maybe I had a privilege of already being in the, my course as a PhD student. However, I feel that it doesn't matter where you are at the moment. You can give it a try when you see the advert. If you qualify, if you're able to put a good output, because the interview process, Precious, you have been through it, you know that it's very rigorous, and obviously, lots of people would have applied for it. So the preparation and everything goes into it. So just make sure that you have your registration, you have your qualification as a nurse, you have you're working towards a master's or a PhD. Even if you've not started, the school is always supportive. My school, like this Solent, is very supportive for you to be able to attain that. So it is a very nice journey if you want to actually embark on it.
What do you mean by supportive? Are they paying for it?
No, because I already I'm a scholar for Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. However, when I started in the school, when I started teaching at Solent, and they knew that I was a PhD student, they offered that I can take study leave. So
Okay.
in a year, I was given 35 days that I can take as a study leave. So I just need to spread it, making sure that I take into account that I have other things that I have to offer in the school. So that alone, 35 days in a year, it's quite a lot aside my normal annual leave. So it's quite something else for me, because when I was in the ward, or maybe in the hospital, I wouldn't have that opportunity. I have only my annual leave, and I have my evenings to sit to write something or to read something. So it is a big thing for me, and you can understand why I'm saying that they're very supportive.
Certainly. So do you have any idea that in the event that you were not already pursuing a PhD,
Yeah.
it was your school in a position to fund your PhD? Or
Oh,
if there's someone coming in who does not have a master's but have some vast experience to compensate for that, are they going to fund that? I mean, I'm speaking to with regards to your university or the other ones you applied for. Did you have any knowledge broadly that these schools will be funding for masters and PhD for the employees? Sorry.
yes. So sometimes what you have to look at is your what you want to do. And before I answer that question, let me put it so that people will understand something. That there is something I learned some years ago whilst I was listening to Bishop Oyedepo. He said, "You will not have the knowledge and you will not be needed." So even if you don't get somebody to sponsor you, you have the opportunity to go for the school. You have to, because so far as you have the knowledge, somebody will need it in one way or the other. Then my answer to that question is yes, the school is very happy to sponsor. Sometimes it's just financial constraints that actually account for them trying to either tell you to hold on, or they will make you understand that you have to fund, and later they will reimburse you. However, if you don't have the opportunity in the school that you are, or in the institution that you are, you have to understand that if it's knowledge wise, try and pay for it. And one day somebody will actually pay for what you paid for. And I know that some of the schools also, if they can't sponsor, they can give you annual leaves and study leave. It's a form of payment, as is stated, because, and also the number of years you've worked with them also might be a contributory factor. Even though in academia, you've been working for 1 year and you have a good PhD, they might be very happy to actually sponsor you. But you can look elsewhere outside of where you are to actually get a sponsor.
Thank you, Tutu. I mean, just to add that quite a number of institutions, yes, will sponsor you for
Yeah.
master's or PhD. So just look out for that. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of opportunities exist for
And
those of you who are watching, who are internationally recruited nurses who may want to go into academia and further your studies. A lot
And
of
Precious,
as well.
yes, and Precious, even with your contract, it's stated clearly in it that they are
That's
supposed to sponsor you to actually achieve that, because we are promoting research, and we are in academia you have a lot to offer, and per your qualification can also bring money to them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great. I'm sure to when you were moving from Ghana to the UK in 2018, I'm sure perhaps your employers funded your tier 2 visa, including your IHS. Is that right?
Yes, they did.
Immigration Health Surcharge. Is it the same? Does your employer or did your employer as a university fund your tier 2, including the IHS?
No. So it was a bit different because I had to pay for my visa fees and my IHS, but there was a discussion around it. So
Okay.
they made me understand that the reason why at that particular time they couldn't actually pay for it. So if you are moving from the hospital to academia, you have to understand that most of the institutions, you are going to fund your visa fees and your IHS. So you have to cough out about £2,700.
I think it depends
If it's
how
just 3 years.
thank you. It
If it's
depends on
three
how many
years.
years you have. That's great.
Yeah, but if you're given 5 years, that means you're going to cough up about 5,000 and almost £6,000. So it depends, but they are very considerate. So like myself, I remember when the HR called me, they actually calculated the number of years I've been in the UK. And as a result of that, they offered me, okay, we're going to give you 3 years because we know you have about 1.5 years to apply for your the IL.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, IO. All right, that's fine. Thank you, Tutu. So I mean, let's move a bit into financials. Earlier, you did mention that staying on the ward is a bit good because you get a lot of money here and there. Let's compare baseline. Of course, I'm not saying you should tell us how much you're taking, but comparatively, what's your suggestion? Do you have more time? Because I have had a lot of conversation with you when we were on the ward about working 9 to 5 as an occupational nurse,
Yeah.
or working in the ward as a registered nurse where you have a typical ward. They all come with their challenges. What will you tell people with regards to the financials across board from band 6, band 5, a lecturer? What are the variations so that people can be guided if they want to go into any of these roles?
Okay. So I'll compare the ward, the lecturing, and occupational health. Occupational health, you don't work over the weekend, and you don't do night shift, so there's no remuneration for that. So obviously you're going to be paid the normal base rate. So if you're receiving a lot of money on the ward with all the night shifts and as it's classified on social holy hours, so so those ones you don't get it in occupational health. And with occupational health, most of the hospitals, your annual leave, if it's a bank holiday, you have to use your annual leave as a bank holiday. The reason is, if not, you're not going to get paid on that. Yes.
Oh.
But on the ward is different. And when you go to the university, because lecturers, we do a lot of work even outside of our normal hours. We do marking sometimes on weekend and everything. So you take your annual leave, and that is it. So when you compare, because lecturing you start at grade 6, the money it's a bit higher than when you start, or maybe band 6 in NHS or something like that. But on the ward, you also have the opportunity to work in other maybe a bank shift, or you work as an agency staff. At in education, you can also still work as an agency, or you can still go back to the ward just to keep your clinical skills. So sometimes that's the only thing that helps, because at least you know that even if you're short of cash, you can go to the bank, to a hospital to do a bank shift, or you can go to work with another agency to get some money, but at the same time trying to keep your skills. So that is the difference. And even when it comes to NHS and other places, like if you're working in a care home, we know that the money in a care home is more than in the NHS. But the good thing is that with NHS, at least I had the opportunity to learn a lot. I don't like I didn't like the routines in the care homes.
Okay.
So at least I embrace myself every morning to I anticipate whatever that I will go and find, and whatever I will come my way. So it's something that's really helped in so many ways. So for the money, if you really want money, then it's on the ward.
Okay.
It's on the ward. It's not in occupational health or the specialist. But as you go up higher
Mm.
in OK health, you get money. I think you might even get more than when you're on the ward.
How about the ward? So let's now put aside the occupational health. Let's say a band 6 or band 7 on the ward and in the lecturer role. Which one will you, go for in terms of money?
So I will still go for lecturing because of not only about the money, yeah, because there is a lot of things that when I started from September I have gained, and
Okay.
money cannot purchase that. So if I have to put the money on, then I will still choose lecturing. But if not for the money, because if you're band 6 and band 7, the money will not be so high. But I'm talking about NHS. It might
Mm.
be almost the same as what we receive as a starting. So that means that it's not the end point, but it's the starting as a lecturer. It might be at a band 7, or let's say in NHS that it might be a par with that. But in the NHS, obviously, when you're a band 7 or band 6, and you'll still be able to top up in the same way as a lecturer can also top up. But you have to look at what you're looking for at the end of the day. It is not just about the money. It is about the satisfaction that you have to have at the end of the day, and also the impact you're having on other people. So if it's just about the money, then you can do agency, because agency pays a lot. There's agency that pays £42 an hour. So you will not even need to go to
So
do any.
I know you are an expert in that area, so I'm coming. Tell us a few things about that as well. But I just wanted to add to the fact that you mentioned that being a lecturer is grade 6. That also depends on the institution. For some
Yeah,
institutions,
that's the
lecturer
starting
role,
point in when it comes to lecturing. It's the
yeah,
starting point.
yeah. So what I mean is that in some institutions, the starting point for a lecturer is grade 7. In some institutions,
Yes, I
at
know some
grade
few
6.
institutions. Yeah.
That's right. And just to clarify for those listening as well, a band 6 on the ward does not necessarily equate to a grade 6
No,
as a lecturer. So just get
no,
that clarification. Yeah.
it's not at
Thank you.
all.
Yeah. So my last but one question. So at the moment, you were a lecturer, you were a PhD student, you still work as a nurse, and then you are a family woman. How do you do it? What are, of course, you did mention support systems you have in place over the time. But if you can tell people watching who are multitasking, I know quite a number of people who are working on the ward and they are schooling at the same time. What do you think have been the enabling factors for you and the challenges you've had over this period, especially combining four main workloads or different professions? Because family work is also a profession on its own. So tell us what your enablers and challenges have been.
Precious, I think is just by grace. I you see, it's about knowing what you want and how to go about getting all of them. and prioritize. And obviously, I'll prioritize family above every other thing. But one thing that I learned from my mom was that she said, I'm going to do my first degree, because she had the certificate A as a teacher, and she went to do her diploma. She said, I'm going to do a first degree so that I set a standard so that none of you will end up in the first degree. You go higher than myself. So I am very glad that my children actually are very supportive and they understand, and all because of the fact that I always make sure that I speak to them. It doesn't become a challenge. And I remember sometimes when I'm at home and I'm doing a work, they respect that. They get in, oh, are you doing are you writing what some of your work? Then you see that they will run out of the room. Then but I create time for them. I create time for them, and I create time for my PhD. I create time, and because I know that lecturing is my full-time job, but a PhD I need to finish. So I create time and I maximize every time that I have. I create time for the people around me. I make sure that they realize that they matter in my life. So when you're combining things, you have to set priorities. When you're combining things, you have to know what you want, define what you want, and make sure that you take time to maximize all the things that you're supposed to do. And that, I think that is the best way that I have to say, because it's not been easy, because sometimes I have to put my books down, or maybe I have to do something. I have to put it down and focus on maybe my marking, focus on my lecturing. And there are times over the weekend I have to sacrifice my weekend. It's more like you don't have a social life, so you need people who really understand you to be able to live like that. And I also tell myself that it is just about a moment. It will pass.
It will
So
surely
yeah,
pass.
it
And
will pass.
I still maintain the position that your British accent is taking shape. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So tell us finally, you did mention earlier that you wanted to be a journalist and you wanted to go into politics. Are those dreams and aspirations still valid, or have they changed?
To be frank, now that I'm talking with you, the only thing that I can say is I will want to be a consultant for WHO or UNICEF.
Wow.
Yes, and with
Amen.
that, I
Amen.
know I'm a political person sometimes, but I know that if I want to do all those things, I have to start de-align myself from some cons at and when it comes to politics at the local level. But I
Okay.
do actually do some politics. With
Amen.
journalism, I really am not sure whether I will want to go in, but the profession that I've chosen now, you don't need to say you're a journalist.
Okay.
Sometimes you have the opportunity to make others to feel your impact. And as a public health person, I am very grateful that I have the opportunity to make impact in people's life by educating them. So it's a form of journalism in some way. And one day when I get the opportunity as a lecturer, because I still want to be a lecturer all the time, and I have the opportunity to be a consultant with WHO or UNICEF, obviously I am going to make impact and make it like a journalist. So I don't need to make the fame now with talking and making noise and everything. But
Amazing.
yeah,
Thank you very much, Tutu. Tutu, amazing. I mean, any final words? It's been exciting chatting with you as always. I mean, any final words to our viewers? What do you have to tell people finally?
what I would leave with people is that you have to believe in yourself, believe in what you want to achieve, make plans to achieve them, and always remember it is not where you starting from; it's your end point that matters. So wherever you have started from, it doesn't matter. Make sure that you put some plans together, dream bigger, and you still you will be able to achieve it at the end of the day. And never ever underestimate everybody around you. Make sure you keep them, because they are the people that will help you one day to achieve whatever you have to achieve. And I want to thank some few people. I want to thank my colleagues at Solent, especially Somia and May. I want to thank my family, my mom, my siblings, Mr. Ewusie. I want to thank my dad, Mr. Baffo. I want to thank my Mr. Honorable Ababu, my friends Angela, Esther, Linda, everyone who has been part of my life. I want to thank Father Kweku, Father Ben, everyone. I mean, everyone. It's just amazing to have all the people, and double chairman Richmond. Thank you so much, everybody. I want to thank everybody who has made an impact in my life.
Amazing.
And Sister
So,
Abna, I know she's watching.
okay, great. Few comments. Cynthia Asilue, I hope I got the pronunciation right.
Yeah.
She says, Tutu is my lecturer in UK, so you see. Mami Owusua says, hello, Prof. Tutu. So, of course, you want to be a consultant, but there's also a wishing that you become.
Oh yes, thank you, Mommy, because Mommy and Jane have been so amazing. And that's why I said I have to mention lots of names. Mommy Owusia, I can never forget Chester, and I can never forget the times that now we have some time to discuss our PhD, and it's very amazing to have Mommy and Jane around. It's very nice.
That's right. Great.
Yeah.
Linda Chra says, I'm really proud of you, Mom. Irene Bossman says, well done, Tutu, on your achievement. Keep on impacting lives. The Danyanyas, Joel and then Angela, regards to you. They say, very inspirational story, Tutu. Thanks for sharing. Cynthia Chewa says, well done, my daughter. And Michael Ajiman says, proud of you, Tutu. And yeah, so
yes,
thanks
my
very much.
teacher, he was that a person who pushed me to Solent.
Great. We thank
Yes.
everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Yaboa. Thank you so much.
Great. So viewers, this is what all time will allow us. It's been exciting having you around, and we want to believe you've learned something new, or you've learned a bit about Tutu, her journey, and you've picked some sort of inspiration. That is what all this platform is about, the Discovery Show. So we say the Discovery Show, Yearn to Learn, a platform or a show that seeks to interview professionals in the diaspora and beyond who are making significant impact in their own area. And today we've been speaking to Tutu Baffo Ewusie. Don't be shocked. The next time she comes here, she'll be Dr. Tutu Baffo Ewusie very soon. She is a registered nurse, a PhD student, and also a lecturer at Solent University here in the UK. She shared her journey moving from Ghana as an almost a principal nursing officer in Ghana, coming here to start all over as a registered nurse. Within 8 months, she moved to become a occupational health nurse. And then within a short while, she started her PhD. From there, she's becoming a lecturer. And now she's combining all these, working as a PhD student, full-time lecturer, and also working as a part-time nurse, so to speak. It's been a very inspirational time, and we are happy to have you. This show has been proudly sponsored by Henbeck 60 Hub, and Henbeck 60 Hub principally source for goods such as bags, books, from footwears, watches from all over the world. If you want to contact them, +233 546 022 952 or henbecktravels@gmail.com, and they will ship it to wherever you are at a very affordable price. They are the best you can deal with, so please contact them and work with them. Tutu, it's been a pleasure having you. Thanks very much for coming after a very long time.
2 years.
2 years. We are grateful that you were able to come. We wish you all the best, and we pray that may your dreams and aspirations come to pass according as you desire. So thanks very much again. It's been a pleasure. And thank you, Mr. James Kwabena Opon, for producing this show. Viewers, again, thank you. My name is Precious.
Thank you so much also for having me.
You're welcome, Tutu. My name is Precious Adadidiodu, and I've been your host. And we're out of here. Catch you same time next 2 weeks. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The name is The Discovery Show TDS TV, and kindly recommend to a friend for the person to also learn something new. Have a wonderful time and all the best.
Life is a journey and sometimes can be a lonely road. When friends and loved ones forsake you, all you got to do is to be bold. I knew it years ago that those who undermine me had their minds undermined, but I never mind. They should keep on undermining because I'm a real good. I must undergo mining. Talking of mining, it leads to discovery. We mine to discover, we learn to discover, we observe to discover. Friends can uncover you at the same time discover you. But I don't want to discover you, I would rather discover more, so I go on the internet and I listen to words of wisdom and intellect. Availability of information, interviews of great men and women all over the diaspora and all nations. Creativity at its best, dexterity of research, no need to go through any formal education. I introduce you to the Discovery Show. Let your friends and your family know the struggles before they blow, their highs and their lows. Pay attention to this show, it will make you feel at ease. The Discovery Show on YouTube got the steez. Now Perry, the presenter, please pose for the camera. I want to hear you say cheese. We are airborne like a flu. I want to hear you sneeze. True. The Discovery Show is live on air, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. See ya. TDS TV, Yearn to Learn. Host, Perry Precious. Executive Producer, James.